Get ready for the whip. Oh, never mind. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony that just now was a fluke, nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. While I agree it's a mistake on the part of the police, what Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then... No way. Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. I just need to ban a fool. Be gone. Yes, sir. As you can see, it's covered in blood, and the defendant attacked and killed a person without a doubt not fighting back. Well, I mean, the fact that there is a bullet hole in it? We heard 2 shots. She must have been shot at first. Maybe that's the other shot. And the bullet hole here is an exit hole as the bullet went out. But how did he end up getting shot in the head afterwards? I mean, justifiable self-defense, I guess, but yeah. Let's question it. Shows that homeboy tried to shoot in my direction. Yeah, there you go. But I didn't actually see your message there because I had to ban a follow bot. He wasn't fighting back. How do you know he wasn't? Unless the shot was from behind the screen. It's weird though because it's right down at ground level, so whoever did it would have had to have been laying down and shoot through the screen. So it's more than likely he stood up first and shot at her. Missed. It went through her robe and into the screen. Yeah, that trajectory wouldn't make sense. We can find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of a struggle, pal. So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around the murder changed drastically. We're in real trouble now. Only I had something to prove that the victim did fight back, but Von Karma, she thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone. I'll find a critical contradiction somehow. Alright. So the question is... is it the robe? Or is it the extra bullet hole? Off to play some board games. Catch you later. No problem, King Pulsar. Thank you for hanging out all day. It's been fun. Look forward to seeing you again, buddy. Take care. Enjoy the board games. Board games are awesome. Yeah, so let's try it with this. Try it with the robe. Detective Dick Gumshoe, if that is your real name. Yes. Having you call me by my full name is kind of weird feeling. Yeah. You said that my client killed a person without a doubt who was not fighting back. If the robe smells of gunpowder, then that should mean the bullet passed through her first, considering the distance. Yeah, you would think so, right? And it's like, so, the order of events as well. Obviously, the bullet passed through her robe. There were 2 shots fired, and only one of them in the victim's head. The other bullet had to go somewhere. The final bullet would have been shot at him, right? So that means that the one in the hole is first. So that must have been an attack. So yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole your police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? Like he pulled the gun, took a shot at her, she stabbed with the knife. And then when he was weakened, took the gun off of him and shot him. Ah, you're right. It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would have changed everything. Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. Huh. What is with that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Ms. Von Karma, it seems that Maya Fey was shot by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. That's right. But still, that doesn't mean therefore we can ignore this and call her guilty. Jesus. Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all. No! Well, yes, that's true. That's right. Your crane stance, Daniel-san. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? Fuck off with that whip. Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we've acquired added in, of course. Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Oh, Jesus. Please stop. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Please don't hit me anymore, mistress. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. But he just said earlier, a stab wound like that would mean that you would be incapable of fighting back pretty much right away. So the scenario you've put together does seem to make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. Your Honor, it would be my genuine pleasure. Fairly sure her cracking the whip like that would be considered treating the witness as hostile, if not badgering the witness. I'd say outright threatening the witness. Attempting to do the witness bodily harm. Wasn't sure if maybe that would show what we needed. Earlier he said that a stab wound like that would have caused such a grievous wound that he wouldn't be able to fight back. Yet now he just said, after being stabbed, he began to fight back. What? So maybe we need to get that out of him first. There is quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Add in the body strength and it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess. I mean, actually, no. Probably not. You're saying what, shorter people can't stab taller people? You think you can get away with such a flimsy reasoning, Mr. Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Korean channeling techniques, oh, she knows it. The medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. Wow, they're literally just open to the prospect. I don't believe it. She even studied on the Korean channeling techniques. Like I said before, I am perfect. About what you were talking about, I don't quite get it. Yeah, you're in for a treat, judgy boy. Never mind. Let's continue with the testimony. He doesn't want to get whipped. And again, during the channeling, while she's channeling, she wouldn't have been able to do much of anything. They're seriously allowing that in court there. If she had channeled the nurse, then Maya could not have been responsible. Exactly. But that's the logic, I guess. So, he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him. But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt bad. How badly hurt would you say he was? Actually, I went to give blood the other day, and afterwards I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness. Sorry. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. Okay. Where in the world did that pistol come from? It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically brought it for the day. But a handgun? He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. And that doesn't seem suspicious to you at all. Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when the shot was fired. I'm really glad you weren't hurt. Just a quick shot of her, like, with the whip, like, keep going. Then picked up on the opening and took the victim's gun and ended it. Maya has never fired a gun before in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety. With that safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it just by pulling the trigger. Now, it's been a long time since I ever actually used a gun myself, because we have gun laws in England now that weren't in existence back when I was younger, and I used to go to a gun club, but I don't ever remember any of the revolvers in the gun club having a safety. I mean, the safety mechanism is the fact... Yeah, exactly. Alchemist, thank you. You've verified that for me. This has been verified by a 100% grade A Texan. They don't have safeties. They're for semi-automatics, because the pistols can be, like the hammers can be cocked. And you can forget about them and they could go off, and the safety stops the hammer from moving. In a revolver, you have to manually cock the hammer, or if it's a double action revolver, then you can pull the trigger as well. And it will pull the hammer back for you, but you've got to physically pull the trigger, and it's a hard pull. But anyway, it's a video game. With the safety off of an amateur like you can fire it. Look at the Englishman knowing guns and stuff. Hey, I used to go to a gun club and I was good. I was a good shot. Not Olympic material good, but I could hold my own. I fired a 357 Magnum. That was scary. Now, do you understand? As Von Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes it look very bad, but there's gotta be a contradiction somewhere, and uncovering the truth, I can feel it. So a contradiction somewhere. Your dad's got a snub-nosed 357 that was used by Texas Rangers in trick shooting competitions. Wow, nice. Yeah, the gun club I used to go to had a snub-nosed 38 revolver, the FBI model. I used to use that one often, and they had a Ruger 38 as well. I used to like using the revolvers, they were good. They also had a replica AK-47 that was only a 22 caliber. That was fun. And a Glock 9mm, Glock 17. The great thing about the 357 is it can use the 38 shells. That's true, yes. So I don't know what we're gonna use to object with what. During the challenge, the defendant saw the chance to stab the victim in the chest. The victim used the last of his strength to fight back. I'm pretty sure this is the contradiction, because earlier he said he was stabbed so badly he wouldn't have been able to fight back. He would have been easy pickings. But that's not physically in any of this stuff. You see, he would have had to stand up to fire that shot for it to then go through the sleeve and down into the thing, into the screen. He hasn't addressed when the stabbing would have taken place in the situation. No, he has. Let's go through it all again. So he says the stabbing took place at the beginning, that the stabbing was the first thing. Then the victim fought back, pulled out his gun and took the shot. Yep. And he missed. Defendant then picked the opening and took the victim's gun off of him and shot him with it. So he's saying stab the victim. Victim shoots at Maya in defense. Maya wrestles the gun out of his hand and shoots him. So yeah, that's... This one here, I think, is the bit that pulls it apart. Everything else is conjecture, but this... That's going to have to go with the autopsy report. Oh, maybe not. The music didn't stop. Got that wrong. He doesn't see the contradiction. No, really. Objection denied. Think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright. Blah, blah, blah. That flows with the story. 2 shots fired, both sets of fingerprints. Nothing else can be said about it. That fits with the story. Murder weapon was small fruit knife belonging to the phase, only bears Maya's fingerprints and the victim's blood. We've already done everything we can do with the clothing for now. Wearing this at the time, and there was a bullet hole in it. Question is, which order did the events go? We've got to show that she didn't stab him first, that actually that shot was fired first. That's what we've got to turn around. Wrathful Monk with the host. Hey dude, how's it going? How was Monster Hunter? Did you have fun? Did you slay all the monsters? Thank you very much for the host as well, dude. Really appreciate that. You raged hard? Oh no. Thank you for doing that shout out, sweetheart. Oh dear. Guys, go follow that guy. Go follow Wrathful Monk. He's a fun guy. You'll enjoy all his streams. Very good friend of the channel. That doesn't change when the shots were fired, it just happens. Totally blaming the full moon combined with Friday the 13th. Absolutely, yes. This is the cursed day. It's worth blaming it on Friday the 13th. I don't know what else we have that could go against this. Or against any of it. Nothing that can directly contradict that. Nothing that can directly contradict that. I thought the autopsy report would do that. Oh, wait a minute though, we can present these now as well. Yeah, that's the thing. Why would she? What's her motive, you know? But the thing, well, what they're trying to say is that the person she was channeling tried to kill the Doctor. Because the person she was channeling was actually this nurse who died in an accident a year ago. And the Doctor was suspected of potentially causing it by drugging her with sleeping pills before she left, and then she got drowsy at the wheel and crashed. And she'd been potentially pointed out as the reason why 14 people died at the clinic, because she also got the prescriptions wrong or something, or the medication wrong, and the Doctor's tried to blame it all on her. So she has a motive to kill the Doctor, which is apparently what happened. I was kind of hoping that something in here would tell me something. Malpractice incident and murdered during the channeling. It's this victim used the last of his strength to fight back. Victim took a shot. Because they were too close, he missed. I mean, technically it did, even though it went through her clothing. This is a tough one. I can't find the contradiction. Got a bullet hole 8 inches off the ground in the screen behind at the back of the room, which we can assume is where the bullet that went through her clothing went. And we have those clothes there, which we've already pointed out that there was indeed a shot taken at Maya. We need to prove that that shot was taken first. Sleep long tomorrow, already sleepy, but this case is too interesting. Yeah, this has really got me. I think what I'm going to have to do is actually, I don't like doing it, but I'm going to save it. Because we're probably going to have to do a lot of trial and error. There's going to be something so contrived and tiny that you can't see it normally. Like, do I maybe present this with this? But, I mean, what does this prove? Obviously you missed. The bullet went into the folding screen. This doesn't contradict it, you know. What do the papers say? This is a newspaper clipping about the incident a year ago when 14 patients died at Dr. Gray's surgical clinic. And this newspaper clipping continues the story, saying that a woman by the name of Mimi Minnie was the nurse at the surgical clinic, and she died falling asleep at the wheel shortly after this incident. She was the one who the doctor was saying was responsible for the 14 people dying, because she mixed up medications. And she is now the person that they were trying to contact with Faye using spirit channeling, and the doctor was going to get her to confess to having caused those deaths, and that she died because she was just asleep at the wheel and he had nothing to do with it. But people speculated that he drugged her with sleeping pills. So this was the whole reason they were doing the seance, was to get her to write a confession. Instead, it seems that he either tried to kill her or she tried to kill him or whatever. End result is he's dead. And the channeled spirit was saying about how he killed her, so now she's killed him. But we don't know which items to present here. I'm going to try using this autopsy report with this one again. No, that hasn't worked. Damn it. It's got to be something to do with the fact that he couldn't fight back after being stabbed. I have nothing in my evidence list that specifically says that I can then point to and say, no, this happened instead. I have no idea. If anybody wants to give me any hints, feel free if you already know the solutions. I am now allowing a little bit of backseat gaming. Where did she get the knife from? Yeah, we don't know. She probably had it on her. Up her sleeve, yeah, probably. She probably just had it on her because it's a knife for cutting fruit. I mean, maybe it was also part of the ritual. Knives are sometimes used in rituals. Because they're used to, like, sever spiritual bonds afterwards, that kind of. But yeah, if anybody has any ideas about what in this testimony we can contradict with what piece of evidence, can you use the stone? I mean, probably not. The stone is really just supposed to let us see when people are lying. I don't think it's something to be used in court. Okay. I'm gonna reload. I am save scumming now. This is the first time I've done this. I'm going to just question some of these again and see if we can get any more ideas. So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him. If you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad. How badly hurt would you say he was? Actually, I went to give blood the other day. Afterwards, I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness. There's the whip. Sorry. Because earlier on he said he was stabbed so badly that he couldn't have possibly fought back, and now he's saying, oh, he was stabbed and then he fought back. But I can't find what combination of items to say that's a contradiction. Where in the world did that pistol come from? Looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically bought it for the day. It had a handgun. He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. Why did he bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? That's when we think it was. 2 of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. I'm really glad you weren't hurt, Maya. Maya never fired a gun in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety, which doesn't happen, but okay, it's a revolver. When the safety's off, even an amateur can pull the trigger. Now do you understand? The Von Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony makes it look very bad. There's got to be a contradiction in there somewhere, and uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. I'm at a loss. I don't know what we go with. Quite a difference in height. And the body strength, it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Bullshit. That's a flimsy reasoning. He was in the middle of channeling. When channeling with the certain Korean channeling techniques, the medium physically changes with the nurse's build. The defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. I wonder if we have to use something about that. Now, I'm just going through questioning again to see what information spills out again. Both statement and Maya's clothing? Really? Look. 1, 2. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. I mean, we already know that, though, because the hole in the clothing shows that he missed. I mean, he didn't miss, he hit the clothing. Are we supposed to... Yeah, I mean, the thing's there. Must have been under her arm. Really? This doesn't make sense to me at all. We'll see what this says. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. Eh? What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Are we just going to nitpick over the fact that he says he missed and instead, oh, you actually hit her, but only her clothing. Please amend your testimony. Because I didn't think the game would want me to be that petty. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired the gun point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on the costume? We said earlier on it smelled of gunpowder. God damn it, game. A gunpowder burn? This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh. But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn. I mean, okay, yeah, there isn't one there. I'll give the game credit for that. But it did say earlier on that it smelled of gunpowder, which is to imply that there was a gunpowder residue on it and thus the burn. And I just didn't think about it being drawn in. Okay, fine. That was very, very obscure. That's a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when that shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I am disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? That wishy-washy thinking, like that anyone can expect anyway. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. It was then that they were separated and he fired. How's that? As if that was even possible. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Oh. Well then. That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between herself and the doctor. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There. That should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful, I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. Okay, does something not make sense? This doesn't make sense. If they were both standing, then that hole would have been much higher. She had to be down on the ground, like kneeling. Maybe. Since the game is being awkward. There is a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. You can do it, thank you. Flaw? Oh, Jesus. Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow? And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts the line of thinking. Well, actually, was the knife probably still stuck in his chest? Or did she... I don't think we've had it said if the knife was in his chest or if she stabbed him and took it out. Like, did she still hold the knife? It just says stabbed in the chest. It doesn't say anything else. Like, why would she then push herself away from her own weapon? You know? Why would she do that? I'm thinking it must be this hole. It's the angle of the shot. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that, a folding screen? Yes, we brought the whole thing here with us. I would like to point out the court's attention to the hole in the folding screen. Ah! I like how she actually looks like she's been whipped when that happens. Like, ooh! She actually flinches. It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means when the shot was fired, Maya, I mean the defendant, was not getting ready to strike but was actually squatting low to the ground. Order! Order! This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit in this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in the area. Hey, the bot won the battle royale. Nice. So she was probably actually here, wouldn't you say? Not rigged. Somewhere around here. Uh-oh. The judge's face is scrunched like he just smelled a serious bad breath. That is, I mean... Wait, I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up. Oh god. Sure. In the meantime, I want you to think things through again, Mr. Wright. Shit. Seriously? Because I need to find the right pixel. Alright, okay. What's done is done. For now, I should just focus on where Maya was at the time of the crime. I mean, would she have been, like, all the way back here, then? Oh, she might have been hiding. She might have actually been there. She was standing here near the folding screen. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? No powder burns. That's impossible. But why? You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she was shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there's nothing of the sort around the bullet hole in the costume. Ugh. Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you. I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing away from the victim when she was shot at. Do you think this has changed the defense's situation? Yes, it changes everything. We don't even know what order the events took place. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen. Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the side of the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Ugh. Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. You just didn't know what it was, did you? Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. What did you miss after he freshened up your internet dirt? Oh, we got the place wrong. So instead, where is it? That's the right one. Right, kicking butt, exactly. So we placed her originally kind of in the middle of the lower right square. And he's kind of between the two left squares about halfway across, and that kind of drew a line to the screen. That was wrong. Instead, we put her right by the screen where that little like cabinet is, that little side table, as though she was squatting there hiding. She was taking cover. And that was right. So now we're just debating that makes no sense. If she's trying to kill the guy with the knife, why is she all the way over there instead of getting in close? And he's got a gun. See, Wright doesn't need the whip. That's right. He uses words as his whip. Alright. With this, the rest of the trial should be in the blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case at this point. Now, I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. All the things to inherit. Why did it have to be the smarmy smile and the finger wagging as well? Because he used to do that. He used to be like... And now she's all like... Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Oh boy. Time to go to the dungeon. Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start repairing your standing by first removing that 3-stained goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? It's gotta be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we'll hear from the next witness. Dun dun dun! Hey. Save the progress. Ooh, that was a close one. I know you were giving it your all to defend me, but I could feel the death penalty hanging in the air. No, that was the judge's bad breath. He forgot to clean his teeth. I felt like I was pretty close to dying myself, especially when that whip was cracking around, Jesus. But you were wonderful out there. You listened carefully, made theories, and tricked everybody into believing you. Thanks? Wait, tricked? That must be the lawyer's secret technique, right? Yes, it is. By the way, Is the next witness who I think it is? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lotta Hart. Oh, guess there's no escaping her, huh? Remember, Nick, you promised you'd save me. If you lose, me and my sister's ghost will come after you and haunt you. I believe it. Your sister? Are you talking about Mystic Maya? Or Mia? Yeah, do you remember her, Pearly? My sister was a super good lawyer. She was also Nick's teacher. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, we're back in the courtroom. Okay. Court will now reconvene. Now the first order of... Oh my god. I don't want to hear it, old man. After I call my witness, sit there quietly and watch like a good little boy. Yes, sir. Bring in the photographer who witnessed the channeling. Witness, your name and occupation, if you please. Hey, Phoenix, how you doing? Just fine. Sorry about this, didn't exactly have a choice, you know. Ah! Name and occupation? I declare, what in tarnation? Hey, Judge, this here is a violence against my fair self. That's fine. It's like, yeah, that's good. I'm okay with it. That's fine? That ain't fine, that's a whip. Ah! There's no need for foolish outcries from the foolishly foolish fools, you fool. Just hurry up and testify about what happened on the day of the murder. I haven't even gotten to say my name and job yet. Just, you know, get on with it. She will whip you again. The name's Lotta Hart, paranormal photographer. I'm here to testify. Now, let's all be one big happy family, okay? Only the doc and the defendant went into the channeling chamber. We were waiting outside the door, then bang, we hears a gunshot. Mr. Lawyer then broke the door down and we rushed into the room. She only said she missed one. It is ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. I do like the characters though, they are actually really funny. Inside was the dead victim and the defendant waving a pistol around. I swear, other than those two, there was no one else in the room. And did you take a picture of the scene right after the murder took place? Reckon course. Huh? Excuse me? Reckon course? It's short for you reckon? Course I did. Ah! Does it look like I care? Just hurry up and show your picture to the court. A moment of truth. What will be in the picture? Let's see here. Yeah, here's the picture. It would certainly seem that only the defendant and the victim were in the room. Are you ready, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I will clear all doubt about Maya through cross-examination. Just you watch me. Only the doc and the defendant went into the channeling chamber. Question. Was it really only those two that went in? What are you blabbering about? You were there too, were you not? Ugh. Why don't you answer that yourself? Was it really just the two of them? Yes, Dr. Gray and Maya were the only two that went into the room. Hold on, we can't have the defense testifying against its own client. Anyway, folks, only the two of them went in that channeling chamber, you hear? But you knew that from the very beginning, didn't you? Witness, continue. We were waiting outside of the door and then bang, we hears a gunshot. Just the one. Was it really a gunshot? Are you insane? You must have heard it as well. Yeah, this is hard. It's like everything she can testify to, you saw too. Why don't you testify for the court, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Was it really a gunshot? Now, hang on. Yes, sounded like a gunshot. Why are we here listening to the defense testify? And the world becomes just a little crueler. I heard a gunshot a long time ago, so I know, and I tell you, that was a gunshot I heard. Now this is where the story heats up. Mr. Lawyer there broke down the door and we rushed into the room. Did he though? Did you see the lawyer break the door down? Oh, never mind. So let me get this straight. This Mr. Lawyer there broke down the door? Oh God. Honestly, Mr. Phoenix Wright, why don't you just tell us what happened then? Yes, Miss Von Karma, I broke the door down. Sorry. Why does this feel like an inquisition? No need for apologizing. That was great. You're a real man. Oh really? That's something I would have liked to see. The judge is smiling rather openly. I'll take that as a good sign. And what did you see once you broke in? Inside was the dead victim, the defendant, waving a pistol around. Are you sure it was the defendant, Maya Fey? Sure, I'm sure. Are you really sure? Seems awfully confident, but press harder. Lotta, please think back to that day one more time. Watch again now. Remember what you said when we broke into the room? I was murdered. Click. Took the picture. Lotta, at a time like this, times like this are perfect for snapping up shots. But anyway, what's going on here? This gal, is she Maya? You didn't know at the time if it was her or not. When you saw the murderer at that time, you couldn't even tell if it was Maya Fey or not, am I correct? Well, you see... Order. Miss Hart, you are here to present accurate testimony. Yeah, sorry. Good, this shifts things back to my side. For a defense lawyer, your defense is terribly lacking, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Witness, think back to those two, when those two entered the chamber, the channeling chamber. When they entered, one of those people that entered the chamber was Maya Fey, correct? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was Maya that went in. Looks like we've come to the collective conclusion. The person in this picture is most certainly Maya Fey. Exactly. Rats, and I'm trapped like one again. I swear other than those two, there was no one else in the room. Are you absolutely certain of that? Sure I am, but that old witch chased us out of the room, so... the old witch, Morgan Fey. But there was no one else in there, and you know it. I don't know it. Somebody could have been behind the screen. The channeling chamber was very dark, almost pitch black. Was there really no one else in there? What about... under the floorboards? No. Behind the folding screen. What about behind the folding screen? Did you check that there? Rick Given? Huh? What in the... Rick Given, you know? You reckon? That's a given. I took me a good look around that room once. Bullshit you did. There ain't no way anyone was hanging out behind that folding screen. If I might have a word with you, Miss Hart. Like, we've seen you in here before and you just pull shit out of your arse to make yourself look good. What, you got a problem? Rick Given? I mean, I am having a little difficulty understanding you. If you would stop saying such things as, oh. Now then, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you see a problem with the testimony or don't you? Just as I thought, there's nothing wrong with the testimony. I was with her, so I know she's telling the truth. Enough. It seems there are no issues with Miss Hart's testimony. At the time of the crime, only two people were in the channeling chamber, the victim, Dr. Turner Gray, and the defendant, Maya Fey. The face of the defendant cannot be verified in this picture. However, if we think about the circumstances, it would have to be the defendant. I'm just going to let this go? What is it, Mr. Wright? You look as if you have something to say. If I make one wrong move, I'm going to have the judge against me. Is there anything I can present that would prove it's not Maya in the photo? is there? Maya's clothes have blood all over them, but we can only see the back, not the front. Wasn't she supposed to be by the folding screen? She was by the folding screen when she was shot, when the bullet went through her clothing, and that could have only been shot by the guy who was then shot in the head. So that had to have happened first. So in that interim time, she would have gone and grabbed him, got the gun, and then shot him. And then she could have moved here. This was afterwards. This is after we barged in. So she could have moved by then. We don't really have anything that disproves this, do we? You know? I mean, look at it. What could be missing? I mean, other than her height, Maya's pretty short. Is there a way to do something with that? Doesn't really give vital stats, does it? The only thing I can think to present would be her profile. There is not much to go on now. I mean, sometimes saying I've got nothing is the right way to do it, because then we can wait for it all to move along. But this is pretty much going to... Well, this is the only opening we have. I'm gonna try it anyway and just see. Sometimes they go, no. Well, Mr. Wright. Nothing, Your Honor. That's very smart of you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You really should give up trying to prove this is not Maya Fey. I didn't say anything about giving up. Just don't have any the right evidence to prove my argument. That's enough. Is this it? Is this all I could do? I think it's quite obvious to the court that a verdict of not guilty is not possible. I told you. Totally 100% impossible. Ms. Von Karno, do you have any further questions for the witness? Having established the defendant's guilt, further questions will not be needed. What about the defense? No further questions, I presume? Couldn't protect Maya. The defense... Here it is. Phoenix. Phoenix, you can't make that kind of face. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Mia? Ah! Oh my god, she's in Pearl's body. Oh god, I didn't even know Pearl came into court with us. I guess I made it just in time, wouldn't you say? But Pearl? Her clothes are a bit small. I was just thinking, are you okay with the blood flow there? Because, damn. Anyway, what are you waiting for, Phoenix? Let's go. But how? She's already taken away every advantage. The advantage is still your hand. Think carefully one more time about what you saw in the channeling chamber. Do you remember what you told me yesterday? Dr. Gray! Click. I was murdered. What? A times like this are perfect for snapping photos. You see, there's one final piece to this puzzle. Mia? Question Lotta one more time, Phoenix. I don't know if she's doing it unconsciously or on purpose, but He's not testifying truthfully. Oh, she's probably doing it unconsciously. For sure. This court would like to end the cross-examination. Hold it! Please wait, Your Honor. The defense would like to request that the witness testify one more time. Overruled. What? I'm afraid you're too late, Mr. Wright. The cross-examination has already ended. Furthermore, It's fine. Allow another testimony. Von Karma's case is perfect. Absolutely flawless. And what better time than this for you to see that? But, I mean, I have some place I must go after this. Ah! Oh, alright. I'll allow it. Miss Hart, hurry up and give us another testimony, quickly, while I have some skin left. Well, heck, what am I supposed to talk about? Please tell us once more what happened when you burst into the channeling chamber. Okay, you got it. See, you got through to the judge somehow, right? No, that was probably Von Karma's whip that got through to him. Like, right through his robes. When we broke into the room, all I could focus on was Maya. I was kind of scared of the dead body, so I didn't take a good look at it. I'm really bad when it comes to blood and ghosts and stuff. But I still managed to point my camera at Maya and take a shot. Nothing sounds different from before. Some parts of her testimony were vague. I should press on those sections. Struggle all you like as you taste the bitterness of your defeat. Well, amuse me with your useless questions, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm waiting. Right, all she could focus on was Maya. What did she look like? You know, she looked almost like a different person. A different person? She may have seemed like a different person, however, she was still Maya Fey. I've already made the point abundantly clear. Yes, that is true. Well then, Ms. Hart, did you happen to see anything else? Scared of the dead body, didn't get a look at it. Okay. Then perhaps that body was not Dr. Gray's at all. Seriously, Phoenix? Eh? Well, I reckon it's possible. If the body inside the room was not that of Dr. Gray, whose body was it, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Yours. Well, what if it was that of Maya Fey after the channeling? Or maybe... Ow! Foolish fool sprouting foolish foolishness, just as I expected, fool! A foolishness fool such as you. If that were the case, then that would mean that Maya Fey is in fact dead. She is. And that would make a defendant's chair quite a lonely place, wouldn't it? Sorry, Maya. Y'all done here? Can I continue? Really bad when it comes to blood and ghosts and stuff, and yet you photograph ghosts for a living. Even knowing that, you still persist in being a paranormal photographer. That's why I'm getting out of this here business. This gal's gonna get the dirt on the stars and be a tabloid photographer from now on. Goes through jobs faster than a baby through diapers. Ah! Mr. Phoenix Wright, would it kill you to stay on topic for a change? Well, would it, Mr. Wright? Nice tag team in stereo. I guess I should be grateful it's not a 5.1. Still managed to point my camera at Maya and take a shot. Oh, that's right, she took 2 pictures. We only have the one. She did this last time, didn't she? She had an extra picture that she didn't show until later. She's got a bad habit of doing this. 2 what? 2 shots. You took 2 shots, but only one has been submitted as evidence. Ms. Hart, where's the other picture you've been withholding? No, you got it all wrong. It's not me. I didn't mean anything bad. I know I can be a little mean, but I ain't evil. Well, at least she knows herself. Then why have you not shown the other picture to the court yet? Well, ain't it obvious? That prosecutor woman told me to shut my trap about it. Just like her dad did with her. What? Von Karma? Ms. Von Karma, you're hiding critical evidence. Unforgivable, Von Karma. Suppressing evidence like this, you're as bad as your father. Do we want to jump in, or do we want to let the judge take the whipping? I don't trust this judge. He's too weak. Let's do this. The judge is an idiot, yes. Let's not leave this to the judge. She'll whip at him once and he'll be like, oh, I guess it's fine. Your Honor, the defense asked the prosecutor Von Karma be held in contempt of court. Well, yes. Me in contempt of court? You can't be serious. But you hid evidence from the court on purpose. That's not fair, damn it. Phoenix, are you a lawyer or a school child? I was so angry I lost my composure. Yeah, kick her butt. Ms. Von Karma, would you care to explain yourself to the court? I thought this picture was not important and thus felt no need to submit it. That is all. How could you think? These pictures were more or less the same, so why bother with the second? More or less? I mean, it's just so much more trouble than it's worth for me to submit them as evidence. No, you have to take it out of your pocket and everything. More trouble than it's worth? How can you say that? If you want to see it that badly, I'll submit it. Here we go. Well, there we go. More or less the same, except we can see her face. What is this? What is this picture? It's obviously the second picture the witness took that day at the scene of the crime. It's a little off-center, but that's what you get with a nervous amateur. I think the important point here is the person in this picture. That is most definitely not Maya Fey. What is the meaning of this? This might be the break I was looking for. Now, should I or should I not insist that the person in this picture is not Maya Fey? Going. We fought for this, let's use it. Your Honor, as you can plainly see, the person in the picture is not Maya Fey. Yes, I see that. It's not just her face, her whole body has taken on a different appearance. Boobs. There's only one conclusion that can be drawn then. That somehow, this other person snuck in and traded places with the defendant. Order! Order! Well, yes, I believe you are correct, Mr. Wright. The person who was inside the channeling chamber was not Maya Fey. Yeah, we did it. She's not happy. You're too soft. Huh? You're softer than Aunt Morgan's strawberry desserts, Phoenix. Take a look at the prosecutor Von Karma's face. She's smiling. I think you had better continue to worry, Mr. Phoenix. Ms. Von Karma, what do you mean by that? Your Honor, I would like for you to take a look at this picture. This was taken yesterday at the detention center visiting room. This is Mr. Phoenix Wright and the defendant, Maya Fey, during his visit. Maya Fey? But isn't this totally a different person? In fact, it's the person standing next to him now in children's clothing. She looks this way because she is obviously in the middle of channeling a spirit. It's unbelievable. She can... Yes, it's the truth. When Maya Fey is in that state, she physically changes into the person she's calling. Ms. Von Karma, a word if I may? Yeah. Taking pictures of someone during a private visit is illegal. Surely you must know that that picture can't be submitted as evidence. Get wrecked. Obviously I know this picture is illegal, but I never intended to submit it as evidence in the first place. No, but the whole point is that that picture is inadmissible to your point. What is she? From the moment I showed the picture in the court, the case became all mine. After all, this image has now been forever burned into the judge's mind. Yes, that's called manipulating the trial, and would get it thrown out. We move for a mistrial, Your Honor, on the grounds that you are now biased by contaminated evidence. I don't even have a single witty line. Looks like we've been had. I don't claim to understand this, and I still cannot believe it. Are you saying that this person, defendant, is the defendant Maya Fey? If I give up here, the trial will end, but if I slip up and say something wrong, it will cost me. Is there any way I can prove the person in this picture is not Maya? What have we got? We could show the newspaper clipping about Mimi Minnie, because that's who that is, right? It's her. Maybe we have to show that. Your Honor? Oh, the fire has returned to your eyes, I see. This picture. Within this picture lies a critical contradiction to all the testimony up until now. I see it. I see it. Can you guys see it? It's not one of the things I was going to show. Yes, let's do this. A contradiction. So, you think you've spotted a problem with this picture? Earn your keep. Why don't you point out exactly what's so strange about this picture? Well, let me just remind myself. Oh, I can't open the thing up. Which side was it on? This one. Where's the bullet hole? Please direct your attention here to the sleeve, but there isn't anything odd about it. Exactly. And that is exactly what is so odd. Something that should be there is suddenly missing. Should be there? Oh, she sees it now. There was a bullet hole in the sleeve of the defendant's costume. If that's the case, then it should be in this picture as well. This gets weirder. Ms. Von Karma, you intended to hide this valuable piece of evidence? You will most certainly be assigned a penalty for this. Oh, yes. Now, if all goes as it did with her dad, after this trial, he's going to wind up dead in an elevator after an earthquake. Alright, this should do some major damage to her argument. Don't celebrate yet. You like to bring down the mood, don't you? Take a look at Miss Von Karma's face. She's got that condescending grin plastered all over her face again. Tis, jumping the gun again, I see, Your Honor. I would like to extend an apology on behalf of those incompetent fools. What do you mean? What incompetent fools? If those fools down at the precinct hadn't missed the bullet hole, I would have gotten a report about it. As I didn't, I could not have known this picture was of any value to the case. That is true, yeah. We could only hold her in contempt if we could say that she knew that there should have been a hole in that thing to begin with. I see. She's lying through her teeth, I know it. The woman knew everything about the bullet hole in the picture. Everything. You can't prove that. Franziska von Karma's idea of a perfect case is quite fascinating, don't you think? Your Honor, you need not worry. If you must assign a penalty, I'll personally make sure the detective gets what's coming. Damn. I'm sure there will be a great gnashing of teeth at his next salary discussion. Poor Gumshoe. In any case, this is a very big problem. When the defendant was taken into custody, her costume had a bullet hole in its sleeve. However, from this photo, it would appear right after the shooting there was none. The judge is confused by this strange twist of events. This is your chance, Phoenix. Load all you've got into this one shot, alright? Got it. Watch this, Maya. So, did we actually hear 2 gunshots before we barged into the room, or did we only hear the one? Because Lotta only testified to hearing 1 gunshot, right? She didn't, and we didn't pick her up on that, but she did say she heard a shot, not 2 gunshots. The gun has definitely been fired twice because there's 2 empty cartridges. It's a revolver. So that means that bullet hole could have been made later, while what's her name? Aunt Morgan was in there, doing her whole spiritual severing. I thought we heard 2, or was it a camera? There were 2 clicks for the camera, but I don't know if before we bust into the room there were 2 gunshots. I definitely heard 1, but I don't remember hearing a second. There is only one logical explanation for the contradiction. The bullet hole was made later. If your camera sounds like a gunshot, there's something wrong with the camera, yeah. But there were 2 clicks. I at first, actually, when we bust into the room at the beginning, and there was a click between the texts, I thought that was the, like, whoever it was pulling the gun, like the trigger on an empty gun. Like, you know, the clicker, like they were just continually pulling the trigger, but they'd run out of bullets. But then it was like, oh, she's taking pictures with her camera. But anyway, that's not to do with anything. There's only one explanation for why there is no hole in the sleeve in this picture. The hole was created much later, after the murder took place. After the murder? Hey! Those 2 gunshots we heard were before we broke in, or did you forget? Right, so there were 2 gunshots. Is that how it went? The pistol fired only 2 shots, no more, no less. You do know how to count, don't you, right? Okay, we just lost on that one. Try one more time. Yes, Chief. Again, the shooter was someone else. It's like, well, these shots were fired. Is the picture a fake? Maybe a 3rd person. Yeah, I mean, we do wonder if there was somebody behind the screen all along, waiting. Like, we only saw them 2 go in, but it doesn't mean to say someone wasn't waiting there since the beginning of the day, right? Why would the picture be a fake? There's no reason for it to be a fake. I mean, Lotta, she would quite happily submit the actual picture that she took, thinking, yay, I'm involved in another crime. So it must be. The defendant's sleeve had a bullet hole in it. However, this person clearly does not. There can only be one explanation. The person who shot Dr. Gray was not the defendant, but a different person altogether. What? Maybe this other person was hiding behind the screen and then swapped places with Mia. With Maya while she was doing her channeling. Did the attack. Maya's robe did get shot, but she was moved out of the way for when we burst in. And then everything was put back the way it was again. And I think I know who it was. I think it was the sister. I mean, she's all like cute and smiley here, but if she stops with that, she could probably have that expression on her face, right? She could have been hiding back there in costume. And this could have all been orchestrated with the aunt still. I still want to pin this on the aunt somehow. I know she's involved, she must be. If order is not restored, I will suspend this trial. Oh god! The defense's argument is a complete mess. A complete mess? I fail to see how. Please enlighten us. Hey, witness. What the heck? Is there any way to ask a gal a favor? Be quiet, you. You were the one who said it was only 2 of them when you entered the room. Well, you know, if you were lying, I swear my whip will be the last thing you see. Okay, that's a threat to murder. Or blind, at the very least. Look, sis, you're looking mighty scary. Why don't we say you... Ah! I swear I wasn't lying or nothing. There wasn't anyone else in there, honest. You see? Now riddle me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Where did the defendant vanish to? And where did this other woman appear from? Why is it lately all I want to do is cry? Well, if the person in this picture is not the defendant, then this poses 2 very big questions. First, where did the defendant vanish to? And second, where did this person come from? That's right, now hurry up and answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Come on, you can't fall apart here, Phoenix Wright. I can't believe that even Mia's calling me by my own full name. But I mean, how am I supposed to prove something like this? Had enough yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Or do you think you have enough in you to turn things around even now? Turn things around? That's right. Mia would always turn things around and change her perspective. Phoenix? So, where did this intruder appear from and where did she go and where did Maya disappear to? I need to look at this situation from a different angle. Let's see. What if before we broke into the third person was already in the room? Right, finally he's catching up with us. And what if Maya had left the room somehow? If I could prove that either one of these conditions were true. Let's hear what you've come up with. I think what happened before we forced our way into the channeling chamber. Okay, I've got an idea. Maya said that as she was doing the channeling, she had a dream, which Mia says they don't do. If they're channeling, they don't dream. They're completely severed from their bodies, and they're in like limbo. And the dream was that she'd been killed, or she died rather, and had been buried, and she could smell something familiar like gunpowder. I'm wondering if she's underneath those mats, like if there's a compartment under there, and you pull them to one side. Not necessarily behind the screen. And then when we were all shoved out by the aunt to then perform the severing ritual, they then put Maya back in the room again and hid her. What's weird is Maya's prints are on the gun. And we can see clearly the imposter is there holding the gun. Why isn't her prints on? They could have wiped them off quickly and then reprinted the guns, I guess. That was possible. A third person had entered it. Maya had left the room. Something I can't explain yet. There's maybe 2 guns, possibly. Maya had left the room. Well, she couldn't have because... Okay, the key. Pearl said she found the key just lying around. She would have found it outside. She wouldn't have gone in the murder room. Maya supposedly had that key on her. So, when she was brought out of the room, the key may have slipped out of her robe and landed on the ground. So again, reinforcing the idea that there is either a back door or a trap door to the room. I don't know which one of these is going to bring that up. A third person had entered it. Maya had left the room, something I can't explain yet. So what happened before we forced our way into the channeling chamber? See, both of these have to be true. If Maya had left the room, a third person had to have entered it as well at some point. But I don't know which one of these is going to be right. Let's try them. There's no consequence for getting it wrong. The health bar is missing, so... Your Honor, I would like to present some evidence. Oh. Alright. I have proof that there was someone else there in the room before the murder took place. We do. What do we have? Because where the winding way in the side room is, and the channeling chamber there, that area in between is the garden. And this house is up on kind of like some stilts, right? Raised off the ground. So they could have had a trapdoor that goes down outside. Maya could have been brought through, or brought out, and the other person brought in through a trapdoor of some kind. But which piece of evidence will point to the fact that another person entered the room? I think one of these is going to be wrong. And that's right, yeah, the map is only partial as well. It says partial there. I did notice that earlier. We need the rest of the map. Not going to be the map, is it? Take a good look at this. Okay. Already seen it. Yeah, they locked it from the inside. Maya took the key in there with her and locked it, but the key was found outside the room later, which is interesting. What is the purpose of this? Don't you see, Your Honor? I don't think you actually see what you are doing. Think it over again. What if before we broke in, a third person was already in the room? What if Maya had already left the room somehow? If I could prove that either one of these conditions were true. See what you've come up with. This is the problem, is we've got 3 conversation options that then lead to giving evidence, and we don't know which one is right and which piece of evidence we need to give. Like 2 layers that and we can't go back. That's if I choose one of these, I can't come back to this until I've presented something. The third person entering the room, Maya. We can prove that Maya had left the room, actually. The key. Maya had left the channeling chamber at some point, and the defense can prove this. How foolish. A fool makes a foolish face while dreaming foolishly foolish dreams. Maya Fay was being looked after by her Aunt Morgan Fay. The chances of her leaving the crime scene is lower than a detective's salary. Anyway, let's see some evidence. Prove that from the murder until the time of arrest, the defendant had left the room. Ms. Hart, do you remember this key? Well, I've seen it. Hey, that's the channeling chamber key, right? Before the challenge started, Maya locked the door from the inside with it. The defendant herself locked the door. Yeah, that's why we all couldn't get the door open. The key's the only one of its kind after all. Oh, one of a kind, you say? She gets it. Like, wait, how do you have it? Mr. Phoenix, right? Yes, looks like she's catching on. I'm afraid to ask, but why is that key currently in your possession? Huh? What do you mean? If Maya Fey locked herself in, then this key should have been with her. Yes, agreed. However, she did not have the key at the time of her arrest. Ah, well, ain't that a kick? So how come you're holding on to it? I got this as a present from a certain little girl. And that little girl was nowhere near the crime scene at the time. This little girl standing right next to me right now, who's currently an older woman, but forget about that. That's preposterous. This means that Maya Fey must have left the room. If she had not, then I would not be holding this key you see before you. Ooh, no! It seems we've come to an impasse. This picture has clearly captured the face of the murderer. However, this person, is this person the defendant or not? The defense is arguing that this person is not the defendant. Furthermore, as proof, this key has been submitted as evidence. Ms. Von Karma, how can this be? At this point in time, a verdict on the defendant's guilt is not possible. My perfect case. How is there a flaw in my perfect case? Don't think you've won yet, Phoenix Wright. I am a prodigy. I have never lost a case. And I don't intend to lose here in this court to a fool like you. I don't care what I have to do, I will get my guilty verdict. That's enough. If you would like to continue, do so in the lobby. Hey, Vlodril! Good justice system. Yes, the justice of the whip. Court will reconvene tomorrow at 10 AM. That is all. Court is adjourned. Wow! That was you, Pearly? You summoned my sis? Yes, I felt I had no choice. Great going, Pearly. I knew you were special. Hey, Nick. Did you know? Yeah, it's not like anyone else in there could have done that. Nick. I know you're trying really hard and all, but I really don't remember leaving that room. And I don't think that a third person could have gotten into the room. Yeah. Well, at least we have until tomorrow to figure things out. Like, what happened in that room, for instance. Yeah, I'm counting on you. Ah, I envy the two of you. Oh god, she still thinks that they're an item. Oh, by the way, Nick, do you think you could take Pearly back home for me? Sure. Alright, Pearls. You ready to go buy some tickets? Huh? A ticket? Ah, poor thing, so sheltered. Man. Save. Okay. Well, guys, we're like half an hour over time.